For more than 1,000 years, a single thread, delicate yet potent, remained one of the world's best-kept secrets. It was not a sword nor gold, but a shimmering thread spun from a small cocoon. This thread would become a symbol of royal power, a form of wealth, and the beginning of a path. Today, silk appears gentle, draped elegantly as scarves, dresses, or luxurious bed linens. It caresses the skin, seemingly harmless and quiet. Yet, to the curious trade historian, silk is far more than mere fabric. It reveals how a tiny natural element can morph into an economic force, transforming beauty into status and controlled knowledge. The story begins in ancient China, around 2696 BC, with a legend about Lei Yu, the wife of the Yellow Emperor. In an imperial garden, she sits, sipping tea amidst warm air and rustling leaves. A cocoon falls into her cup. This small, ordinary object could have been overlooked, but as it touches the hot tea, it begins to loosen. A long thread emerges, smooth, soft. Lei Yu notices what others might dismiss. History often shifts because someone sees what everyone else ignores. That cocoon is not merely a natural artifact. It holds a secret waiting to be revealed. Thus, silk's journey begins, transforming from a garden accident into an imperial treasure. The essential question is not what silk is, but how that tiny cocoon became one of history's most powerful secrets. To uncover the mystery, the historian follows the thread away from the garden and into the realm of labor. Silk's worth lies not just in its beauty. Beneath the surface lies a process demanding patience, expertise, and skilled hands capable of It all begins with the silkworm. A moth lays hundreds of eggs, around 500, before its life comes to an end. From these eggs emerge fragile little worms, brimming with potential. For a month, they feast on mulberry leaves. These leaves are vital. Without them, there would be no robust worms. Day after day, the worms grow. When the time is right, they spin cocoons around themselves. In nature, the cocoon serves as protection, but for ancient silk makers, it becomes a hidden treasure. Inside each cocoon lies a single long fiber, which must remain intact. If it breaks too soon, its value diminishes. Cocoons are steamed and submerged in hot water to loosen the threads. Then, women delicately unwind them. This part cannot be overlooked by the curious historian. Silk's narrative often highlights emperors, trade routes, and luxurious robes. Yet, before any king could don silk, someone had to sit in a workshop, pulling a thread so fine it could almost one fiber alone is too delicate. Multiple fibers are twisted together to create a stronger silk thread. The threads are woven into cloth, then pounded to enhance softness, smoothness, and beauty. At the end, people see silk, but behind the fabric lies mulberry trees, silkworms, water, heat, tools, skilled women, and time. This is how nature Ancient China did not merely collect silk. It learned to produce, refine, and protect it. The cocoon yielded the first thread, but human knowledge transformed that thread into wealth. Once silk became wealth, it could no longer be seen merely as a material. In ancient China, silk evolved into a signifier, revealing one's place in society before a word was spoken. A robe could convey a sentence. A sleeve could denote a title. A piece of silk could quietly proclaim rank and privilege. Initially, only royals could wear silk. Silk belonged to emperors, grand ceremonies, and those at the heart of power. To wear silk was not just to enjoy comfort, it was to embody authority. Eventually, the noble class gained access to silk, yet it remained exclusive. Merchants and peasants. This aspect intrigues the curious historian, for it illustrates how a soft material can forge hard boundaries. Silk caressed the skin gently, yet society wielded it to divide. A silk robe declared superiority, while plain garments relegated others to inferiority. The significance lay not just in the fabric. This is why silk became political. In a society that dictates who may wear what, clothing transcends fabric to become a public signal. It embodies visible rules, a means for power to manifest without wielding a sword. Silk's value extended to being used as currency. In certain ancient, this revelation shifts the narrative. Silk is not merely beautiful, it embodies stored value. It can be traded, gifted, collected, and flaunted as wealth. The historian discerns a human truth in this. Power is not found solely in armies or palaces. Sometimes it is knitted into silk was soft and carried status, beautiful yet hierarchical, delicate, while embodying economic strength. As foreign nobles and kings witnessed its allure, they desired it not just for its smoothness and rarity, but for the enigma of a distant civilization it represented. As foreign rulers coveted silk, its beauty became intertwined with the peril of losing control over it. For ancient China, silk wasn't merely a commodity. It was something to be safeguarded. The historian notes the duality of every valuable product. Desire, the more the world craved silk, the more vital the secret became. Foreign nobles could buy silk, don it in distant courts and admire its luster. Yet they remained unaware of its origins. This mystery shielded China's advantage. The emperors sought to keep the old accounts worn that revealing silk production secrets or smuggling silkworms from China could lead to severe punishment. This detail unveils how acutely rulers grasped the value of knowledge. A sword can defend a border, but knowledge, safe silk, is a soft fabric, yet its creation is a closely guarded technology. It relies on silkworms, mulberry leaves, precise timing, steaming, unwinding, weaving, and skilled hands that bind the elements together. If that knowledge escaped China, others could replicate the fabric, weakening its for over a millennium. That secret remained protected. Silk's allure lay not in its ugliness or danger, but in its beauty and profitability. It brought wealth, carried status, and provided China with something the rest of the world yearned. Yet history shifts even the most fortified secrets. In 550 AD, two Byzantine monks smuggled silkworm eggs out of China, hidden within bamboo walking sticks. This image is quiet, without armies or fallen empires. Just tiny eggs traveling within humble sticks, carrying silk. As those eggs reached new lands, silk production could flourish elsewhere. This did not erase China's significance. The silk narrative still traces back to ancient origins, but the secret was on the move. An economic power, silk, still one of China's prized exports, held allure for foreign rulers and wealthy families, symbolizing beauty, distance, and mystery. A piece of silk was not just clothing. It was evidence of connection to a far-off world. Yet silk transcended luxury. It served practical purposes, used for paper, fishing lines, bowstrings, and even canvas for artistry. To the historian, silk symbolizes more than decoration. It oscillates between beauty and utility, art and economy, private comfort and public authority. Silk garments often displayed intricate embroidery of flowers and birds, turning fabric into a canvas of culture and identity. By the 13th century, Italy emerged as a significant silk producer, and the connection to Italian fashion and luxury endures today. Still, the deepest memories of silk trace back to ancient China. The great trade route connecting Europe and China earned the name the Silk Road, cementing its legacy. This road was never solely about silk. It carried goods, ideas, wealth, and stories, bridging cultures. Thus, a cocoon transformed into a thread into cloth, cloth into status, status into currency, and currency into trade. a road uniting civilizations. Silk poignantly illustrates that history isn't solely shaped by the loudest events. Sometimes it's the quiet. Silk began as nearly invisible, a thread concealed within a cocoon. Yet, when attentive eyes recognized it, skilled hands shaped it, and societies imbued it with meaning, that tiny thread evolved into so much more. It became wealth, status, a coveted secret, and ultimately, a vital connection between civilization. The story of silk teaches us that history isn't always propelled by grand gestures. Sometimes, the softest touch nurtures the most profound shifts. A small cocoon, a cup of tea, a careful hand, and a single thread helped weave the fabric of trade, culture, and imagination. The deeper lesson remains: never underestimate small beginnings. In our lives today, a simple habit, a newfound skill, or a quiet effort may initially seem trivial. Yet, with time, protection, and development, it can blossom into something powerful. Like silk, value often begins in silence before the world recognizes its worth. What small thing in your life